Good day, tankers of Blitz Universe. Welcome to the definitive Tier 5 Heavy comparison review. Or that is until Wargaming releases more Tier 5 Heavies. But up till then you have to make do with this. We are taking a look at all the Tier 5 Heavies in the game currently. We're gonna take a look at this one, the Tier 1 Heavy, the American Tier 5 tank. The battle wagon, so to speak. We'll be looking at this little pocket rocket of a tank, the VK3001H. It's the German Tier 5 Heavy. We're gonna be taking a look at the KV-1, the Russian mother of all heavy tanks, so to speak, and of course the World War I like slowly moving behemoth, the Churchill Mk I. This video is also a celebration video to celebrate that we have reached 500 subscribers on the channel. At the moment of commenting we were at 502, so we are slowly moving upwards. Please spread the word. Thanks a lot to all of the subscribers who have been there from the beginning, who have supported the channel, who have shared the videos on Facebook, on Twitter, on any social media you can think of. And especially to all the guys who have been commenting on the videos. I really appreciate all the feedback there is. Appreciate all the comments. I take my time to take a look at them all and reply to them all. But it does show that my videos are being watched, and I kind of like that. As you all know, we also run a contest now. You have to drive a regular Tier 5 heavy tank, and you can win a Churchill 3 on it. Hopefully this review can pick up some, give you some bits that will make it useful to pick your Tier 5 heavy off. Here's a comparison sheet. As you can see, I've compiled all the data on the vehicles, on hit points, on armor profile, on maneuverability, on gun wise, and those that have bold text are the tanks that are the winners. Taking a look at the armor profile, you can see the KV-1 is the top dog of the pack. Best armor profile all around. The Churchill Mk I is the best frontally armored, but I'll be back on that in a second. Maneuverability, the T1 picks the top position here. Best engine power, it's also the most heavy tank, surprisingly. And in terms of weaponry, the VK3001H using the waffle gun gets on top of that. T1 Heavy again the winner in terms of DPM, and as you can see the Churchill is a bit lacking behind overall on these Tier 5 Heavies. It does have the highest hit point pool of it, and it does have the best frontal armor. But there's a small side to it, because the frontal armor, as you can see here, it's not all 177mm, it's just this small little plaquette of armor, this little bit dark maroon colored here, that's 177mm, and the rest is about 86mm. So that's something you have to take into account. Right, checking the armor profile through the eyes of a medium. I'm driving the Chinook. Thanks a lot to all of the people of Emperor's Clan who decided to drive around in tanks. In the KV-1, in the Tier 1, the Excelsior thrown in for good measure, the Churchill Mk III, which is basically a Churchill 1 but with a quick firing 6-pounder gun. And my clanmates from Emperors have decided to line up over here on the bridge. I'm in the Chinook. I'm trying to take a look at all the tanks through the scope in sniper mode to see how the armor profile looks like. And as you can see, medium tanks at Tier 5, they will have no problem panning most of the sides and rears of the tanks, be it an Excelsior or a KV-1 or a Tier 1 Heavy. Frontally it's a bit of a different matter. Here's the big frontal glasses of the VK3001H. It's a typical weak spot, and that's something you have to take into account when you drive the VK3001H. You have to hide that lower front plate because it's so easily panned. KV-1 has a weak lower glasses as well, but it's flattened out here because I'm lower than him than when I'm on the same type of ground. Churchill, the Mk I over here, driven by CAS118, same lower glasses plate. You can see that big plate on the right at the driver's side. That is that's impenetrable for me. But other than that, I don't think there will be a lot of problems for a good medium driver at tier 5 padding the front of tanks. We're starting off the gameplay here by driving the KV-1, fully upgraded, the top gun mounted, all the guns I have mentioned in the comparison sheet, those are the guns I have mounted. It's a typical Russian gun, big fat alpha damage, thank you Leopard for showing up, big fat alpha damage, wide dispersion, not too good on aim time, so on all the tanks a rammer, a gun laying drive and vents, that's the basic loadout you'll want to get. Moving up towards the cap, Panzer 3/4, thank you, tracked him and he's gone 2-2 now, but we have the edge in terms of armor here. We have a Sherman Jumbo, M4, A3, A2 and of course I'm over here. Do take note that the KV-1 isn't the best in terms of gun depression, and as you can see, surprisingly the Churchill hasn't got very good gun depression either. But if you are fighting at a hilled area like I'm doing in the KV-1 at the moment, you have to take the gun depression into account. 3-on-3 now, SU-100 is engaging a Cheeto. I'm pondering whether to shoot the Panzer IV Enko or the Cheeto, and I decide to move up over here, help our SU out. Cheeto is going down. KV-1 is a bit slow to traverse. I'm tracked here. Can I ram the Cheeto? Yes, I can, but only for 44 damage. I dunked one into him with his tracks. Shot into the engine deck. Switch to HE, and that's one more trick. Switch the ammunition quick if you have the back of a Japanese medium towards you and you are driving a big fat Russian heavy tank. So that's just a matter of wrapping up over here. Tier 5 heavies versus each other. Churchill 1 versus the KV-1. Big shot in, reverse back into cover, keep my tank angle towards him, but that's 3 guns versus 1. There's no way he's gonna win this game. And the VK 20 on 2801 is making it easy for us by moving around the cap area, over the cap area. He sets the siren off and we can take him out very simply. Yeah, one more shot in. He's a bit too quick for me. I do want to take him out if possible, so am I going left? Am I going right? No, I'm going left. I'm moving back. I'm moving forward. And in retrospect, if I had moved forward straight away along this side of the factory, I probably would have killed him. But nevertheless, 7-5 win fairly easily. I'm gonna show you the damage report here, the special, just 1k damage. And that goes to show that the KV-1 is a tank in which you can do fairly easily a good game. Second one is up on Himmelsdorf. I'm trying to angle the tank. That's what you want to be doing in a KV-1. I think of the 4 Tier 5 heavies, the KV-1 is by far the most noob friendly tank, and that is of account of its big alpha damage gun. It has the biggest alpha damage, 200 as opposed to 160 for the other 3 heavy tanks. It doesn't do the highest DPM, the T1 takes it, but it's only 3 hit points advantage for the T1 heavy. But it's the overall armor on the KV-1 that makes it a very friendly tank. The hull armor is good, as well as the turret armor, and it's fairly easy to drive. You do have to get used to it being a bit slow, especially if you start off on the tank, because you come from the line of the T26, the T46 and the very big but quite quick T28. The other tanks come from fairly similar type of tanks. At least it goes for the VK 3001H. That one is preceded by the DW2, and that's pretty much the same tank, even though it's a tier lower. And then you have the Matilda preceding the Churchill 1. And those are quite similar tanks in terms of gameplay, thus making it a bit easier to adapt your gameplay. The Tier 1 is preceded by the M3 Lee, which is quite a different tank. Here we go again, big hit into that M4. And again, this is quite a simple win, but like I said, if you want to start up on heavy tanks at Tier 5, I'd say start at either the KV-1 or, as we will see in a few more games, the T1 heavy. Up next for this review is the VK3001H, and the big selling point of this tank is the gun. If you mount the top gun on the VK3001H, you are gonna get a gun with 7.44 rounds a minute, 160 alpha damage, and a healthy 157 pen on your standard rounds and 221 on your premium ammo. The downside is that on the waffle you don't have a high explosive round, but you do have great pen because it's essentially a tier 7 gun, and that means you can basically pen anything you will be facing at tiers 4 and 5. No problems whatsoever. Even shooting through another VK, this VK3001H is also mounting the waffle. You can see side armor, it's all grayed out, no problem shooting through him. Also the front plate, it's a big target. If you want to take out a German heavy, shoot through the front plate. You can see it here. I shoot him several times straight through it, and the transmission is situated over there, so you have to be wary of that, because if you take too many hits through the front plate, you will probably get your transmission on fire and thus your tank on fire. You can see it shot straight through the front of the KV1. It wasn't even with a PCR, but I penned him anyway. Moving back towards our spawn, because most of the red team is over there. Quick shot on the Panzer 3/4 because I saw he was isolated. Cromwell, that one shot misses, bit unfortunate. Leopard, we can take out the Cromwell first, and then we're gonna take out the Leopard. We angle the Armour, and although he has the quick firing gun mounted, he can't get shots off towards us. 4 on 4, side scraping out for the Anko. He bounces on my tracks and he gets killed by the SU-85. We're gonna drive up towards the Stuk. The waffle is a very accurate gun as well. You can see the snapshot on the move, not even fully aimed, but that one goes in quite quick. I do hit the Stuk, but just a bit too late. Snapshot into the KV1, that one misses. But if the VK gets all turned on and you can pick up on speed, you can use the speed quite well. This is one of the other guns on the KV1 actually firing against me. It's a quick firing gun, a 57mm I think, but it just doesn't cut it for me, and that's on account of its alpha damage. I think a heavy tank, while we're looking at the result screen for the VK, first class, Top Gun medal, and just 1.8k damage, I think that a heavy tank should have a bit of a fear factor in it. You should be wary to approach a heavy tank, and that means heavy should be able to take out big chunks of health from the red tanks. The gun on the VK3001H, the waffle, is in my opinion the best gun on account of its penetration. That also means that the 85mm F30 is the best gun on the KV1, the 76mm the best one on the T1 Heavy. And in terms of the Churchill, I like the Vickers gun, the HV, the 75mm, and that's because of its penetration. If you mount the gun preceding it, the gun which is a tier lower, then you get a higher DPM. So that's one thing you could do when driving the Churchill. You could mount the 6-pounder gun, higher rate of fire, a higher damage per minute, same alpha damage. As for the VK, we're driving it here on Mirage. If you want to mount that gun, that means you can choose between this gun, the waffle, like I mentioned before, a tier 7 gun. You could mount the stock gun from the Panther, which gives you the same average damage, just a bit lower in terms of penetration. In rate of fire, that's a 7.5cm Kampfwagen Cannon 42 L70. It's a bit of a lighter gun, that is very good too, because that makes the tank a bit more nimble. I don't recommend you mount the L48, is it, I think? No, the 7 L43. There's one gun which makes the tank very slow because it's a heavy weapon, and that yes, it's the L48. It's a very heavy weapon, and that makes the turret traverse very slowly. And I mean, a tank isn't a heavy tank is a heavy tank, and it doesn't have that quick turret traverse that medium tanks have. In regards to medium tanks, here we have the T1 Heavy, the American heavy tank, and this is, like actually most of the American heavy tanks, a bit of a cross between a heavy and a medium. It's the heaviest tier 5 heavy tank in the game. It's got a good rate of fire, 8.77 rounds per minute on the M1A1 76mm gun, 160 alpha damage, giving you 1403 of DPM, just by 3 hit points, the best in the tier. But like I said, it's the most heavy tank in the game. It's got the thickest engine in it, and it's got the best power to weight ratio, and that makes it a very maneuverable and nimble tank. KV1 versus me over here. I'm trying to side scrape out slightly out of this situation. The tank isn't very good at side scraping, but it's an American tank, so you have excellent gun depression. You can see it here. I'm in a bit of a dogfight with the Matilda Black Prince, and I have good gun depression. The Matilda doesn't have it on its turret. I have gun depression of what's it, -10, giving me the edge in fights like this. Shooting one through the front plate of the KV1, I'm alternating targets one by one. KV1 again through the side of its turret, and here you can see the rate of fire put to use. No shots available on him. We go towards the Matilda Black Prince, snapshot in, one more shot in into the side armor. With 2-3 down now, into the front of the turret. Now I'm getting shot by the Matilda, so I'm moving back into cover, and you can see just how easily it is for me to pop over the ridge and how far I can back down this slope, giving the Matilda a bit of problem with its gun depression. And I'm trying to ram the Panzer 38 and a complete noob moment. That one's gonna be in the Chronicles of Nubia, I think. But this one had to be taken out before he could take out the Su-85. 5-3 now, and putting the engine to good use. Mobility of the tank over here, easily up on towards that ridge once I'm on top speed. 5-4 now. KV1 takes out one of our tanks. There's a Hetzer left on 1 hit point, so HE shell into it, and bam, he's gone. And there's the KV1 left. Switch back to AP. Gun depression again, and one shot in that damages his tracks. That's been unfortunate. And one more shot in. Lower glasses. SU gets a kill. Still, good game, showing off what the T1 can do, and it's a good comparison to the KV1 game on the same map. Especially since I followed more or less the same route, and you can see in that game what the differences are between those two tanks. The KV1 is a bit less mobile in terms of mobility and maneuverability, especially on the suspension, because the T1 it's got a bigger engine and can just drive around a bit quicker than the than the KV1. In terms of top speed, it's not that big of a difference. Both get a top speed of about 35 kilometers per hour. T1 is just a bit quicker, but on traverse 25 on the hull and 30 on the turret for the T1, and the KV gets 20 for both hull and turret. Churchill 1 on traverse is the slowest one, 17 on the hull, 20 on the turret, and the VK is a bit in between the T1 heavy and the KV1. We're up on Falls Creek, no, Port Bay is it, and you can see you can actually side scrape, semi-side scrape, or go hull down in a T1 heavy if you get the angle right. 5-on-2 now. We're gonna take out the Churchill here. One more shot into him, and he's got a bit of a problem. I think he has a stock engine. We can take him out easily, and there's just one guy left, and we get notified by the T-3485 Victory that he is at the base. And he means a red spawn, not the base cap circle over there. So full speed ahead, pedal to the metal. Here we go, Stuk 3. Where are you? Where are you? We want to get another kill. There you are. Lining up, putting a shot in. Another shot goes in from a teammate, and boom, goodbye Stuk. Second game in the T1 done. This one was first class, second class. I don't recall. I shot all games, second class, 1200k, 1.2k damage. I shot all those games of the KV-1, the VK-3001H and the T1 Heavy in one go, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by how maneuverable the T1 actually was. You can't really say this tank is maneuverable. The Churchill one is a good tank. Make no mistake about that, it is a good tank, but the game of Blitz has been changed a bit due to wargaming, changing the maps, changing the tactics on the game itself. It's become far more fluid, far more mobile. Mediums can have a field day against slower tanks like the Churchill, and that means you have to know the characteristics of this tank very well and the characteristics of the map and the tanks you are facing. You have a good armor profile. You have a good gun. You actually have a choice in top guns between on this tank. Unlike some of the other heavy tanks, they have a gun that's preferable to use as a top gun. You have the Vickers HV, which I've used in the chart, and you have a tier 5 gun, a 6-pounder gun. The latter one, the 6-pounder, actually has a higher damage per minute than the Vickers HV. But it does less penetration, which means you can put out quite a lot of shots in a minute, but you need far more gold ammo than you need using the Vickers HV gun. So if you want to use that tank, be sure to have a credit grinder at some of the lower tiers or a premium tank, and I think you really need to run a premium account if you want to use the 6-pounder gun on a Churchill Mark I. Like said, it's not very mobile. Like you could see in a comparison chart, it doesn't have a really good gun depression, and that makes this tank mostly suited to flat ground, like the town here on Dead Rail, like the town on Himmelsdorf. I don't think you should take the Churchill up towards the hill, despite me saying otherwise in the Middelburg map guide. I think the Churchill is just a bit too slow for that, and coupled to that gun depression, I'm trying to engage the T-34, and you're gonna see the issues I have with the gun depression here. There's a lots of small hills and inclines and bumps over here at Mirage. To the left over here, you can see I can put one shot in, but I take one in return. And here I'm having a bit of problem with the gun depression. I thought I had a shot at his front plate. I didn't. I had to move slightly forward to get the shot on him, and that made my gun go up, and thus I missed the shot. Over here it's a bit better, it's more flat ground, and I can just keep moving away. So if you want to be successful in the tank, I think it's better to play it in a platoon. Talking about late to the party, I just missed a kill shot on a VK-3001P because the Excelsior and the Kuro Mori Mine are a bit quicker. There's a VK-3001D, that's gonna be a next target. Can we shoot him? Bit of luck on shooting. Nope, that one misses. We can't engage now because he's too quick for me. It's 2-on-2 here. I'd like to move up, although I haven't got the gun depression, but it gives me a height advantage over the other tanks. Can we shoot the D-34? No, we can't shoot him. Moving up over here, traversing slightly, one into the VK, that one misses. And this wasn't the best game ever I played in a Churchill. Driver that, quickly heal him, and the VK-3001P is a one shot. That one misses, unfortunately. Simon, get out of the way. APCR in the turret. Yep, that's one kill. 4-on-3. There's one to my right. VK-3001D. We get a bounce, bit of a lucky bounce. Try to track him. I miss his tracks. I don't track him. I do damage the tracks, but I can't hit him. And now I catch him on the reload because I have a good rate of fire. And suddenly it's from 4 against 3, 7 against 3, and we win this game. And that leads us just to sum things up, make a quick summary. As said from the game, if you want to start on tier 5 heavies, I think you should take either this one, the tier 1 heavy, because it's a very mobile tank, has good gun depression and just about the highest DPM in the game. The second one I'd recommend, and they're pretty much X-Aquan's top one, is the KV-1 on account of its easiness to play and the armor profile. The VK-3001H takes the third place, being a mobile tank having the best penetrating top gun of all the tanks, and last one is the Churchill Mark I. Sorry Kevin, is going to be the Churchill at the bottom, because you need map awareness and you need a good solid understanding of the game. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please support us by subscribing to the channel or like us on Facebook. Cheers and happy tanking.